How do you do? It's Dan McDonald here. We're going to get funky in the shower. Actually, tonight I'm going to show you my hygiene regimen, and I think it's going to help a lot of people because I like to be clean. I like to be clean on the inside, and I have many tools for that, but we're not going to go into that today, although that's very important if you want to keep your health. You want to keep your hair, you want to keep your teeth, you want to keep your skin, you want to keep your eyes, you want to keep your bones, you want to keep your flesh and everything healthy and fluid and mineralized and enzyme activated and radiant. Then you want to make sure you take care of what's going on right here, but that's another video. Today we're working on the external hygiene. So let's see, first of all what I did, I started off the evening to wind down. I had a long, sweaty, hot day. And I haven't had a chance to go in any springs or the ocean yet, so it's all stacked up on me right now. So what I did is I had dinner, and then what I'll do after dinner is come in and I will use some of these elixirs here on my head. There's a Vata, a Pitta, and a Kapha elixir. And I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to rinse it away, but after dinner I go and I rub it in to my forehead because I want to keep my hairline from receding. So if you're interested, you can go to Morocco Method and check out the elixirs. They're very expensive, but they actually do work. I was really surprised. Anthony Morocco sent them to me, and I was like, okay, I'll try them out. What the hell, you know? Next thing I knew, after using them just for a few days, I started to sprout new hair. I've been using it ever since, and my hairline has stayed nice and thick. Okay, there's a lot of other things to that. Make sure you're getting plenty of nutrition. So I let that sit for about an hour when I went and took a walk to help my dinner digest, you know, which is very helpful. After dinner walk is very helpful for digestion. So then the next thing I do, now I did this last night too, and it's what gave me the idea. I thought, man, you should really teach people because you're really clean, dude. Like, you keep your skin clean, your armpits, your teeth, your hair, everything. I like to keep my physical organism clean on the inside and the out. I have shorts on, if you haven't noticed. There you go, see? So not getting too crazy up in here, but I'm just going to turn on the shower here and give you a run through on how I like to keep myself nice and clean. So the next thing I do, first thing is get the shampoo in your hair, the Morocco Method. It's the only hair care stuff I really need to use because it's so epic, and it really works for me. I'm going to use, there's 5 different kinds of shampoo: earth, pine shale, sea essence, and the apple cider vinegar as well. I think tonight I'm more in the mood for, how about let's do the Heavenly Essence. How about that? So this one is for like normal to damaged hair and scalp, but I like to just saturate my hair with this. So what I do is, you've probably seen this before on some of the other videos, but I come up under here and make sure you get this stuff down into the roots, because this shampoo here, see, most of the shampoos are just designed with like sudsing agents and cleaners and things like that, but what you have here with the raw and vegan wild crafted is like clays and minerals and plants and all kinds of things you never even heard of, but you can pronounce different essential oils and things like that, algae extracts, and these actually feed and nourish the hair follicles. Okay, you want to feed and nourish the hair follicles from within with like green juices, herbs, and fruits, and circulatory herbs, whatever you use. Ginseng, faux thai, or ginger is really good, turmeric, all those things that keep the blood circulating, as well as like anticoagulating type foods, you know, which are the fruits and the herbs. And a lot of the other foods, like the cooked foods, they will coagulate the blood, they will leave sediment, they will leave earthy deposits, calcareous deposits, and eventually what will happen is the hair follicles will get clogged up, or the capillaries and blood vessels to your teeth, so nutrients can't be delivered that way. The same thing with the skin. So whenever you're like eating cooked food, cooked fat, cooked carbs, you're basically clogging yourself up and stoning yourself up, because you are a water-based electrical being who is highest vibrational potential is through, number 1, oxygen, and then through the conductive medium of water. You want to make sure you've got all the essential minerals. Some of them you haven't even heard of, and about 95% of the people watching this video are mineral deficient in one or more. Particularly want to make sure you're getting enough iodine as well as magnesium. Zinc runs a nice race up there too, but there's not as much zinc deficiency as there is iodine, number one. Okay, so get an iodine supplement. You know, sea vegetables theoretically work, but I think that, you know, a bioavailable iodine is going to help a lot of people with either hypo or hyperthyroid. So that's going to help you with your hair and your skin and your nails. It's all one system. You want to take care of that one system, and it's really hard to kind of, you know, share all this information so that people can get it, but let's just hit the basics here. So anyways, I'm washing my hair, and I don't mind, I'll sit here and talk to you forever, because the longer that this shampoo soaks in, the better, because I like to, I'm only going to have a few minutes, but I'll take a couple hours sometimes and soak my hair. The other thing I like to do with the Morocco method is come up from behind and get, because I like to keep, you know, my areas of focus, to be honest with you, and this is just for tidbits, is the front, of course. That's why I use mostly, because these elixirs are really expensive, so I use those in the front because that's my main concern, is just keeping the hairline good. But I also think about getting the sides here when I go to nourish with the Morocco method shampoo, and then I want to make sure that I'm hitting the back too to keep that nice and thick, because when that curls up and you've got nice body back there, it's a sign of youthfulness and vitality as well. When your hair starts to go, that means that everything else has already started to go long ago. You understand? Because the hair is like, it's not a priority. And it's going to try to protect all this other stuff. But as soon as your hair starts going, like with the gray and stuff like that, you know you're mineral deficient and your endocrine glands are going to be next, okay? And it's also with reproduction. When you're like, if you're a man and you're like in your late 30s, early 40s, and you start to notice things aren't performing as well. Sorry about the water here. Anyways, don't complain. It's just the video, and I wouldn't normally be doing this. But you know, if you start to like your reproductive organs go first, because it's focusing on your heart, your brain, and your nerves. It wants to protect that at all costs. So if you've got deficiencies, it's going to make sure that it's going to extract from that to protect those more important vital systems. So the first ones to go is your reproductive, and then women get all messed up and have all the different fluctuations in their hormones, and the dudes start looking down and going, damn, it's just not working the way it used to, you know what I mean? So that's the beginning of the end, and that's when you need to start going, hey, I'm starting to have health problems. Not when you're in the hospital with a diagnosable disease. You're about 20 or 30 years behind your body's original warning signals. So don't wait until you're like dying in the hospital of a disease to do something about your health. And I guess that's basically the nature of this video, is care for yourself, care for your body, care for your hair, care for your teeth, care for your eyes, care for your skin, care for your reproductive organs, your digestive organs, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, particularly since like 50% of the people are pre-diabetic, because everybody loves those carbs. And I understand why, because they numb you and they make it possible for you to exist in a society that's upside down and backwards. But what will happen is if you can stick to your guns and stay on point with the real food, it'll wake you up, and one day you'll be at the office and you'll be like, F this, man, I'm out of here. You'll be raw for like 3 months, 6 months, sticking to the raw, and you'll like just wake up and you'll be like, I can't do this job anymore. I don't care how much money it pays. I hate my life. You'll wake up. The raw foods will wake you up, and then you will create your life around living your life instead of killing yourself around a life that you don't really want to live. You're just not aware of it because of all the frequencies that are passing through your heavy metal infested brain. I mean, they do a lot of shit in this society that just totally messes us up, all the way from day one of the vaccines, all the way to the flu shots and the medications and the TV that's just turns you into a zombie. Not to mention, you know, the educational system and public schooling, and then you go to church on Sundays, and then you get a double whammy there of dum-dum. Sorry, but I've really rarely ever met a preacher who really truly, in my opinion, I felt like really loved God and loved the truth. You know what I mean? It's more like a politically correct, like read the stuff out of the Bible, but what is your heart telling you? Is your heart on fire for God? Is the kind of thing. And if it's not, and if you're not standing up there on the pulpit inspiring the hell out of me, literally or figuratively, then it's not gonna, I'm not gonna listen to you read me a bunch of pages out of a book, man. I want your heart, because without the heart, there's nothing. It's death. Without the heart, it's just words. It's just poop. It's like dry. It's like, here's your bowl of sand for breakfast. Enjoy. But no, when you bring the heart in, it's like, here's some pineapple and papaya with coconut yogurt. Now we've got life. Now we've got vitality. Sorry, I'm wasting the water. But anyways, I just gotta, normally I don't make videos while I'm in the shower, but it's a good video. I just wanted to share. So I'm sitting with the shampoo and I'm all good. The longer the Morocco method sits on the roots of your hair, so get it down in there, you know what I mean? It not only cleanses your hair, but it nourishes the roots. That's the key. Nourish the roots of your life. Nourish the roots of your tree. Walk barefoot. Eat good food, dude. Eat good food, man. And the more raw food you eat, the better you are gonna be. The more living food with water and minerals, biophotonic energy, like life force. I'm telling you, man, the things that people promote just keeps you numb. You don't want to be numb. You want to wake up and deal with your problems. Deal with your challenges. Deal with your sticking points. Deal with your unconscious programming. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to be a wise soul and take what you've been given and use that fertilizer to grow beautiful flowers, to become the person that God wants you to be. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's easy or pleasant or it's going to get you a bunch of video views either, because the truth, people don't really dig the truth that much. I'll be surprised how many people even watch this video all the way through that can not only handle some of the most powerful health information when it comes to external hygiene, but an internal hygiene with raw living foods with high fiber that actually create an illumination and on an upward trend. Because if you get this part of your body to be illuminated and you start calling down in the light of the truth into your being, that's the double whammy. Because too many people are talking about, I'm spiritual, I just pray over my cheeseburger and it's a divine cheeseburger. Yeah, but it's still clogging up your divine colon. You know what I mean? And it's not digesting very well. So I'm talking about, it's the Essene way, okay? I have been associated with them for many lifetimes, okay? That might be a little bit weird for you, but anyways, that's all good. Look into it a little bit. But I'm just saying, we believe in the body, and the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. It's your vehicle, and when it's all messed up, you're not receiving a clear conductivity because you're saturated with corrosive acids that are muffling the signal of the divinity which is in the field. And trust me, I'm not blaming you. I'm saying that, look, our society has, dude, what's the best way to say this without being crass? I mean, they have screwed us over. And they do it on purpose. And I'm not a tinfoil hat wearing dude. I'm just saying, if I was evil and wanted to keep in control, I would first of all start lowering all the testosterone level of all the men 75% compared to what it used to be 100 years ago. And that's a lot, man. Like, that's a lot. So you got to do everything you can to keep your testosterone high. And I got a lot of tricks around that too. But it takes some work. You got to give up certain things that are estrogen mimickers, and you got to get savvy. And that's the beauty of this society. I like that it's all effed up and backwards because it gives me a challenge. And guess what? I'm winning. You know what I mean? It's taken me a lot of research, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, devotion, and integrity to stick to my guns. Because when I was visited 15 years ago by the raw food bug, and I went raw food overnight, I stuck with it. And many of the brothers and sisters have fallen by the wayside. Oh, I tried that raw food thing for 6 months, it didn't work. Well, you never made it through the chasm. And most people don't. They don't make it through the chasm because, number one, you got to clean yourself out, rebuild your adrenals in order to get off all the stimulants and stuff like that. Not the stimulants are bad, but I'm just saying, you don't need meat. And thank God for meat, because otherwise we wouldn't have made it this far for all the vegans to complain about people eating meat. So the vegans actually owe meat their very existence. That's one thing that I find that their argument is lacking, is their understanding of, if it wasn't for meat, we wouldn't be here probably, more than likely. I'm just saying, okay? So I'm looking for one day for there to be an intelligent vegan. I have yet to find it. No offense to the intelligent vegans who must exist, but I'm saying they're not making videos. Only the unintelligent vegans are making videos that have no real rational argument and are actually, I mean, the worst thing for the vegan movement are the vegans. Okay, anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'm looking for intelligent people with rational arguments now, because I'm not a vegan. I don't get to get counted. I see all the videos. Dan McDonald wears a leather belt and he eats bee pollen. Well, of course I eat bee pollen, dummy. It's the best food on planet Earth. You think I'm a dumbass or what? You know what I mean? Jeez Louise. What a joke, dude. Like I'm going to pass over by eating the best food on planet Earth just because some kids that are sitting at home with their mom in their Wonder Woman panties, you know, eating tofu, don't like me because I'm eating bee pollen. Well, you're wrong and I'm right. How about that? And I normally don't say that kind of thing. Anyways, this is sit on my hair long enough. I just wanted to give it a few minutes because I feel like if I would have rinsed this out right away and didn't wrap with you for a few minutes, that I would have just wasted it. But now I can feel the tingling sensation from the heavenly chi because it's got a little bit of peppermint oil in there. And what else is it? Some other kind of essential oils, rose, blue-green algae, jasmine, myrrh. I can feel those oils kind of soaking into my brain, you know. So now I'm going to rinse that out, and then I'm just going to condition really quick. I didn't mean to take up your time all the time, but I mean, well, I do. I mean, if you want to chill out and stuff like that, I mean, I still have a whole bunch left of my beauty regimen. I whipped through it last night. It took me about 20 minutes. My girl was like, "You're tripping. You take some long-ass showers." I'm like, well, yeah, but I like to be clean, baby, for when it comes time to, you know, hook it up. And of course, she's like, "Well, you smell like a flower." I'm like, well, yeah, that's because I clean all the sweat off, and I eat raw foods, and my sweat is like pineapple and, you know, coconut, like fresh, healthy, like clean, like it's just what I'm into, you know, I'm just into it. Okay, so there's that. Rinse that out. It's not all the way rinsed out, that's okay. It takes a minute to rinse that out, and that's good. So anyways, then I go with the, now I usually fluctuate between like the Floating Lotus Conditioner, and I go back and forth, and the Pearl Essence. I did the Pearl Essence, I did it this morning or yesterday. I think I did I did Pearl Essence last night when I did this same beauty regimen. So I'm going to use Floating Lotus, and I'm just going to put that on. That just softens everything up real nice, you know what I mean? You get that on there. And I always focus on the front. This is the most important part, is the front of my hair, but I don't neglect the back. And as I've developed a relationship with the Morocco Method hair care, you know, I've really learned how to use it in a really profound way. And I come up, like I said, same thing with the shampoo, from behind, and I get that conditioner all the way down to the roots, because again, what you're looking at is just, you know, kelp, algae, blood of the dragon, clay, these clays, olive oil, you know, several other ingredients which is that you might not recognize, but then I just get it in there and it like conditions. Epic, man. Love me some Morocco Method. Cannot praise it highly enough. I just like what I like, and I'm willing to, you know, for me, I spend money on quality. This is my temple. I live on planet Earth. There's already enough hard stuff going on out there. You should treat yourself like a king or queen, you know what I mean? The cheap stuff is called that because it's cheap. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have the same magic. It's like it doesn't have the same conductivity. It doesn't have the same kind of energy to it or consciousness. And that's really important to me. I think we should focus on that. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. And I don't think it's a waste. I don't think it's a waste to care for yourself. I don't think it's a waste to imagine what people do. Oh, I'm going to buy a boat, and then I'm going to go buy steak and lobster. And I just think, that's cool. Like, I have no problem with that. But imagine what you could do if you went to a raw food restaurant and bought a green juice, and then used like Morocco Method on your balding and gray hair. the differences that you can make. It would just be a shift in priorities. It wouldn't be like, oh, you know, I'm just spending money on these things that are unnecessary, because nobody really needs a boat. And you don't need that expensive car either. You can just get the model that costs half as much, and it lasts just as long, and it gets you where you're going, and the maintenance costs are even lower. It's just a matter of priorities. My priorities in my life are, you know, a good place to sleep, super good food, and like just these beauty products in this context of I'm a dude who's getting up here and I'm playing like this role, this puppet role, this show that I'm doing, you know, that I have. It's like I'm trying to help people, but I can't just be like tired and bald and gray and sick. I have to take care of myself if I'm going to do a good job and promote basically something that has nothing to do with food or shampoo or personal hygiene, although those things branch out of it. But it's like, it's self-care at the level of the spirit. It's awareness, it's consciousness, and it's responsibility for your eternal soul. You can either hear of the way and turn your back on it and just go like this. I don't want to hear the truth. Not my truth, but the truth that exudates itself from your own heart. That's trying to guide you. You can either listen or not listen. And my job is to just simply, you know, encourage you to listen, because I have been listening to the best of my ability and working very difficultly or challengingly to be as humble as I can, to be guided by that divine light. And I will tell you, I don't know if it's just me, if I'm lucky, or what it is, but you know, it does pay off. After 15 years on raw foods, and what I call, that was the awakening of the spiritual path when I read the Gospel of Peace. And that was the awakening of the spiritual path for me. Okay? And after all these years of really doing my best to be integrity and stay on point, like for example, like raw foods and eating isn't everything, but it is huge actually. Like the illumination potential of these fruits, vegetables, herbs, you know, nuts, seeds, and superfood supplements is absolutely infinite potential. But you have to get educated, and then you have to do it. You have to be willing to actually experiment with your own body and find out what really works. And you can take advice from some of the greatest healers in the world. And my combination of, you know, it started out with the books like the Hygiene teachings. I read all those. I read all Gabriel Cousins' work. I read all Paul Bragg's work, Norman Walker, Hilton Hotima, Arnold Ehret. Then I became, now here's the living one. Well, Gabriel Cousins is still with us, thank God, because that guy's a genius. But I'm talking about, Robert Morse. Love his stuff. Robert Morse will teach you how to get cleaned up, no doubt, but then who's going to teach you how to survive and maintain? A dude who's been raw vegan for 43 years and is still strong as an ox, and that's Lou Corona. And then my friend Tavis is a really proficient healer and works one-on-one with people with their individual issues, helping them through those things, and I learned a lot from him. And then as soon as I brought in minerals and fat, I had the fruits and the herbs and the detoxification and the fasting in my mind, but I didn't really know how to stay stabilized and make sure that you're hitting all the bases nutritionally so that you can thrive. And that's one of more of the phases where I'm at now, because it's really a matter of, it just depends on the context of, are you trying to detoxify yourself from bad thinking, bad diet, and, you know, habits that are killing you, like drugs, alcohol, or porn, or gambling, or whatever it is that's got you stuck. Are you trying to detox? That's one thing. Then there's the maintenance. I'm like, I'm not sick, and I'm healthy, and I just want to maintain this even keel because I'm making good money, and my relationships are good, my health is good, and my life is good, and I'm happy. Here's this maintenance type diet lifestyle program. Then there's the people that are more like, okay, I'm either emaciated after fasting or after a lifetime of adrenal burnout and stress. And now, are you going to need to, rebuild. And what are you going to use to rebuild? So there's always this different context. There's no one meme or slogan. Like fruits, vegetables, and love. It's now fruits, herbs, and love. But it's mostly love, because I'll tell you that right now, for sure, without a doubt. But that takes work too, because love is a constant process of creating more love for it to be unconditional. Anyways, man, I'm yakking away, but it's been a while since I've connected on anything real. I just basically suppress myself because I'm way too damn eccentric to make videos anymore. I made like, probably made 20 videos yesterday. Probably made 10 videos today. None of them will post. This one here, I have to force myself to be moderate, to be mild. And I know you normally don't watch people take showers, but as far as my personality and character, I'm really dumbing myself down. I've been doing that for years and I'm getting sick of it. Because I'm actually really a freak of nature when it comes to the eccentricity of all the things that I do and all the things that I am is so far beyond anything you're going to see on YouTube. But it's absolutely fascinating, at least to me and some of the people around me. And they'll say different things like, you're one of a kind, Dan, you know what I'm saying? And I think to myself, okay, that's cool, don't stroke my ego too much because it's not really about that. Being one of a kind and being authentic is really a lot harder than just being a tinfoil sardine in a can, you know what I mean? Go to public schools and then follow the latest guru on YouTube and just do whatever the hell he says. Or actually think for yourself, because I don't really see, my program is a little bit like, it's like a cross between Arnold Ehret and David Wolf. Like right in the middle, right there. And that's what works, because that's what works. You know what I mean? In this day and age, because people are so deficient. They're excessive in certain ways, like with dead, cooked, over-processed, just junk. Stuff that I don't want. I mean, I'm not trying to judge, but 99% of the world stuffs their face full of things that I personally don't consider viable, bioluminescent, transformative consumables. So things that have chlorophyll and minerals and enzymes and fiber and living water structured by the sun, those things I consider food, and those things which have been damaged and denatured by heat, I just avoid those, keep them away from my stomach, because then the pancreas is taxed, the liver's overworked, the adrenals aren't fed, the mineral deficiencies start to come in, because when you cook the food, you destroy the enzymes. The enzymes are the biocatalysts to the frequencies of the minerals being able to function. It's actually, see, the minerals are, you know, become prior to the enzymes. But you have to have them both or you have no electricity. And when you heat up the food, you lose that. And it may be a subtle thing, and that's why certain people become very, very eccentric and very, very much a lot of personality, and it actually pisses his own self off that he's afraid to get on YouTube and be his true, full, authentic, crazy ass, extremely eccentric, weird ideas self. And so I'm trying to bust through that. I was going to make a normal little video, plug some Morocco method stuff, but I can't do it. And this is very, very toned. 28 minutes, that means I have like 2 minutes left, because I have like, this is African black soap. It'll be a miracle if I post this video. I never post videos anymore, except for the ones that I can extremely dumb myself down. Anyways, I scrub my skin. Get yourself some of these loofah gloves if you want to have beautiful skin. I will tell you, there is not a day goes by in my life. Well, I mean, I won't say that, but when people touch my skin, they're like, damn, you're baby bottom skin. That's right, because I use these loofahs, and I also use sand at the beach, but I use these about 2 or 3 times a week. You don't want to overuse them. You'll hurt yourself, you know, by scrubbing off too much skin. But the more dead skin you rub off, the more your skin cells regenerate. But you have to have the nutrition and the vitality. And that's why I say minerals, enzymes, living food. That way the skin will reproduce. You'll never sunburn. You'll keep your hair. You'll keep your teeth. You'll keep your skin. You'll keep your collagen. You know what I mean? That's why the living foods is the key, man. And the whole world does not understand. And that's why I have a great job, because when people come to me, they want to get transformed. and they want to transform their skin, or they want to build some muscle, or they want to get rid of a disease, it's like no problem, dude. It's the easiest thing in the whole wide world. All you got to do is know the truth. Anyways, I usually spend a few more minutes. I hit all the privies. I'll do that right now. What the hell, you know what I'm saying? The backside, make sure you scrub the skin off your butt, you know what I mean? And keep your hormones healthy, man. You can keep your hormones healthy and make children when you're 110 years old if you want to. But not if you're doing it with the decrepitude foods, and the whole world is promoting that. They're like, hey, I'm going to have these nasty ass like cooked dead foods. And it's like, I try not to judge, but it's like, it is slimy. And it has no minerals or vitamins in it. For the most part, I mean, a little bit left, maybe, on some broccoli and stuff like that. But I'm talking about like, yo, eat that stuff raw, dude, and your whole life will change. You'll see it. So anyways, I'm about out of time here because these videos only go to 33 minutes. I don't know why. You rinse these out really good. You clean all that soap off. African black soap is amazing. It's by a company called Nubian Heritage. And then the last but not least is the teeth. I use the little thing. I don't even know if I'll have time. Not that you really want to sit here and watch me floss, but I got these little daily whackers here that work super dank. Hit the teeth. I'll do that in a minute. And then finally, last but not least, I got the conditioner in my hair. I'll rinse that out. And then I got a little spray from the Morocco method that I use on my hair. It's a hair conditioner that I spray on after I brush my hair. And then my hair is just nice and fluffy and beautiful, baby. Can you dig it? Hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is about DTM at about a level 3. The last several days, I'm about to put the toothpaste on my hand. The last few days, I've been at a oh, damn, dude. Anyways, this is Earth Paste by Redmond. It's just a clay, man. It's epic. Keeps your teeth just epic. The probiotics are what really keep your teeth on point. If you really want to keep your teeth strong, use the probiotics every night. There you go. And it looks like I'm definitely out of time. So thanks for watching this video. Taking care of yourself. I usually spend about a couple minutes, but a proper goodbye from a semi-eccentric Dan McDonald, who you just watched take about a 30-minute shower, so don't trip out about the water because there's so much water here that it's never going to run out. It rains every single day, you know what I mean? And then this just gets pumped right in, so it's not like it's going to flood out and just go out, and then it's going to get sucked back up and totally it's going to recycle itself, so there's no waste of water. Okay, it's over. Goodbye. Rinse out. Take care. Peace. Thank you. I'm out. Peace be the journey.